It's a debate almost as old as superhero comics themselves. Who would win in a fight between Batman and Superman? Of course, everybody has their own opinion about it, and we've gotten tons of stories where the Dark Knight had to go toe-to-toe with the Man of Steel, or certain versions of those characters. But in this one storyline from Batman and Superman Issue 1, Batman humbles Superman in perhaps one of the most gruesome ways. It all begins on Earth Zero. It's the usual smoggy night in Gotham City, as Commissioner Jim Gordon and Batman have a conversation on the GCPD rooftop. The Dark Knight detective speaks of a new threat, of a certain cowl-clad maniac known only as the Batman Who Laughs. I know all of this, Batman. I spent enough time with that freak. I'm not talking to you, Commissioner. And right then and there, the world's greatest superhero, Superman, drops in on them. Don't worry, I could hear you in Metropolis, Batman. Had some business to take care of on the way over. Hope you don't mind. I didn't mean to step on your toes. The Man of Steel is referring to the unconscious body of Killer Croc that he has in tow. Of course, Soups being Soups, it's not surprising he'd apologize for cleaning up Gotham, considering that Croc belongs to the Bat's Rogues Gallery. There's an underlying tension between Bruce and Clark too, which stems from the fact that these two characters have diametrically opposed personalities. But, like always, that's one of the reasons the Batman-Superman team-ups are always a treat for us fans. It only takes Superman literally a second to drop off Killer Croc at Arkham, thanks to his super speed. And that bitter look on the Caped Crusader's face when he sees this is just classic Bruce. But when he gets back, Superman gets down to business and asks Batman and Jim about the situation in Gotham City. Right, approximately 2 hours ago, 13-year-old Danny Mills was kidnapped from his bedroom. And you suspect a new Batman from the dark multiverse took him? Well, that's the thing. Danny's little brother is the only witness, and he said Superman kidnapped Danny. Of course, this is OG Superman we're talking about. This is the guy from Earth Zero, which is pretty much the mainline universe of DC Comics, so it couldn't have been him who kidnapped Danny Mills, right? If you think so, then you got a no prize, because that's absolutely correct. So, who's this Superman the eyewitness saw? Well, you're about to find out. Let's travel back to the recent past, on a world similar to Earth Zero, but different in so many ways. It's daytime in Metropolis, as Clark Kent busies himself with an article he's writing for Daily Planet while his colleagues have a meeting. Suddenly, Clark hears a voice inside his head. Superman. Ah, darn it. There's a situation at the Justice League satellite. You're needed immediately. As we'd expect from Superman, he heeds the call and disappears in the blink of an eye to the confusion of his boss and EIC, Perry White. Donning his iconic red, blue, and yellow suit, the Man of Steel flies to the Justice League satellite at Batman's request. All the while, he thinks to himself how he and Bat are basically two sides of the same coin. If nothing else, it's nice to know that the Man of Steel and the Dark Knight always seem to be at odds with each other regardless of the universe they're in. On my way, Bruce. What's wrong? Hurry, Clark. Get here now. Your voice. You sound different. Do I? I hadn't noticed. Is that another way I seem foolish to you? Small? Batman basically guilt trips the big blue Boy Scout along the way, telling him that even the way they lost their parents are totally different from each other. The rich boy plays dress up while you're our alien savior. There is nothing that says we should be allies. What are you talking about? You're a great ally, a great partner. Remember when we told you how Batman absolutely humbles Superman? Well, that's an understatement, really. Because what Superman sees as he enters the Watchtower just goes to show that the Dark Knight could pretty much crush any other superhero if he took off the proverbial gloves. A great friend. No. Inside that room, the dead, mutilated bodies of the rest of the Justice League are strewn around. And as for Superman, well, let's just say that the Dark Knight made sure the Kryptonian is put in his place, as Clark stops vomiting green liquid and his eyes start to bleed. The air is filled with a kryptonite-infused gas. You were dead the moment you entered the satellite. Your world won't let you escape, will it? Now your home is with you, in your lungs, in your blood. Why? And with that question, we get the reveal that Batman isn't just there to humble the Man of Steel. Because I wondered what would happen if you were like me. What is the worst version of the Man of Steel? Would we make an impossible team? Would anyone be able to stop us from becoming killers of the multiverse? Fun questions. but I know our story always ends with us fighting to the death, so I decided to do what I always do: plan ahead. In that doomed universe, the version of Batman known as the Batman Who Laughs stands in front of the Man of Steel. He didn't just do what he did to show the Kryptonian who's boss. This evil, insane version of the Dark Knight came to recruit him. And his diabolical streak doesn't end there either, because back in the present, on Earth Zero, Superman and Batman are able to locate the Batman Who Laughs hideout as they search for the missing Danny Mills. It's a bastardized version of the original Batcave, containing instruments of torture instead of crime-fighting trophies. In fact, the Batman Who Laughs is such a menace that even the batarangs he uses are diabolical. They're made of nth metal, the same kind of metal Hawkman and Hawkgirl use for their weapons. It's one of the strongest alloys in the DCU. And the Batman Who Laughs even infused it with his Joker toxin. Ultimately, Bats and Supes find the lair's hidden chambers, and they're surprised at what they see. The Justice League, the Titans, Teen Titans. My God, it's everyone. Any of them could potentially be targets for his infected Batarang, changed into a monster like him. This is bigger than Gotham, Batman. All of a sudden, a Jokerized version of a boy wearing Robin's suit jumps at Batman and attacks the two heroes. They think it's Danny Mills, the kidnapped boy Jim was talking about, but it's someone much, much worse. My name's Billy Batson, Shazam! And on Earth Zero, right now, the Batman Who Laughs has managed to turn the world's mightiest mortal to his insane cause. Perhaps the only other superhero who can go toe-to-toe with Superman in a straight fight. I always wondered if I could kick your ass, Superman. Ha 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 ha. What did you think of Batman not just killing Supes, but turning him into one of his minions? Which other heroes do you think could face up to the Man of Steel in a one-on-one matchup? Let's talk about it in the comments section below. And for more amazing pop culture content, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. We'll catch you in the next one, only here at KRTV Marvel.